Hello and welcome to Mastermind. Our mission is to build $1 million businesses so that we can have financial freedom, time for our families, and make an impact in our communities. Let's kick it off some big wins. Daryl, lead the way, please.
Yeah, I was on the front page of the paper. My crew was this last, I think, Thursday or Friday. There's an organization called Strong Dads, and they help reunite kids with their dads
Hmm.
and help dads get jobs and get back in society after incarceration. So my team lead is actually a recent graduate of them, and the lady at Strong Dads was actually a speaker at a Rotary Club meeting a few months ago. And Will talks so highly of you. And she was just raving about how Will likes our business. Anyways, she called me up and said that they're doing a Popsicles for Pops campaign where they're going around to job sites and giving popsicles to crews outside working. And she goes, "You were my first choice." And so I took a picture of them, and they were all over social media. They put it on Facebook or on the front page of the local paper. So it was pretty cool. And my guy Will, he had no idea they were coming over. He dang near teared up when they left because it was just a cool gesture, really cool. So it built
That's
Nice.
awesome.
culture and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, right on. Fantastic. Thank you, Daryl. Very cool. Isaac.
Yeah, so a couple weeks ago, I was telling you guys I was able to score a really good applicant from another company, and he's doing fantastic. And yeah, so did two interviews on Saturday, and I'm hiring one of them, and I'm really excited about that. And then I'm continuing to book more work, so I'm going and doing estimates at 5:30, and changing out my clothes real fast, cleaning the paint off. Just oh my God.
I
I'm
remember those days. I used to keep a can of shower in a can with me and a toothbrush and toothpaste,
my
and then
goodness.
a polo shirt on a hanger. I'd keep it back, and I had
Yeah,
a single cab pickup truck, kept it
yeah.
behind me, and run into the Shell gas station and do a little change of room and clean up. Yeah,
Wow.
get it
Yeah.
done.
So every time I do that, I'm like, I can't do this anymore. This is crazy. So it's just
Yeah.
giving me that feedback loop of, yeah, I'm putting things in place to never have to do this again.
Yes.
So
Yes,
that's
sir.
been good. I feel like I've experienced a lot of growth in the last couple weeks since listening to eMyth and just leaning into hiring. And yeah, we're on a good track. I'm excited
Okay.
for see where I'm at in another 2 weeks.
Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you, Isaac.
Yeah.
Sonia.
Okay, so when Daryl did the mastermind, fantabulous job, Daryl. I put into practice then because I had asked him about the focus on networking and where to network and where to go for that. So did that very consistently and
Good.
just stayed focused and just with BNI and then also other little groups that I've been just looking through and then taking action. Just was able to with some of those, I was able to get people like referrals and then also, so referrals are coming. And so also clients, I think you had mentioned also get back and talk to your past clients. And so I have a few of those repeat customers that we're
Good.
doing work for. So we were able to fill in the end of our calendar for July and also the beginning of August. So getting back on track. So thank you for that. So
That's
that's a big
awesome.
win.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Fantastic.
The
Thank you for
system
sharing.
works.
It does. Be patient. That's one thing okay, that was another win too. Patience.
Right on. Awesome. Thank you, Sonia. And thank you again, Daryl, for leading while I was away. Chris.
Good morning. My big win, sound okay?
Yep.
Hmm.
My big win is I'm working on systematizing all of step 9. The send out cards I've turned into like an SOP that I could pass off to an admin when that time comes. And it's pretty typical, just a quarterly thing that we send out. And so that's scheduled. And then we're just going to stay on top of that. For Facebook, I'm creating a whole schedule of posts that I'm going to be putting in Todoist, which is separate from my calendar, but sends me notifications for when I need to post 3 times a day. What else is there? The calling people, that's a simple process. Make a call once a day. And already got some work, or at least put out an estimate for someone yesterday doing that. And it was really encouraging, actually, even like following up with clients from 2 years ago and just hearing how happy they were to hear from us and just that getting that warm response. And then what was the other one? The newsletter. I outsourced that one to April with the DYB. So just getting the whole thing systematized and turned into a process where, because I wasn't doing it at all. And the only way I could think of how to do it is to have a process to make it happen. And so far, so good.
Yeah, way to go and way to get after it. And those social posts, your Facebook, that's your personal profile?
After we talked, yes, it's going to be transitioning all to the, I really like the business page because I can schedule it all, and I'm lazy and I just want to schedule it, set it and forget it. But instead now I have a process where I'll just put it in Todoist will notify me, and I'll have the post ready to be posted at the right time. To some extent, a lot of it'll still be organic, but
Yeah,
I don't do it without notifications and reminders.
Yeah, no, that's right on. So the reason why I circle back to this is because this is one of the hardest strategies for me to help most folks to understand, and that is your personal profile, which Chris and I already talked about. So I'm just reiterating to get sure if everybody else get the point across. Your personal profile is where you get free exposure, and that's where everybody knows you and already likes you. The business profile, you get like less than 0.5%, and you have to pay to play. So you have to pay to play. Plus, people don't want to engage with a business. They want to engage with the person. They want to engage with you. And so if you notice on my profiles, I always use my personal on everything. And I share my values and I share my hobbies and I make a big deal about those so that when you see a Jeep, who do you think of, right? And I get like, I had a friend who was vacationing in Europe and he saw a Jeep and he stopped his Europe vacation, took a picture of a Jeep and sent me a direct message. That's just fun. So use your personal profile. Use your personal profile. That's where all the opportunity is. Okay. Some will post their business and share it to the personal, no engagement. So if you feel like, wow, for whatever reason, you have a hard time doing this, run a test. Just do it for 1 week. Just do it for 1 week, post your personal profile, watch the engagement difference between your personal profile and the business profile. And I don't use my business profile. I don't know the last time you guys have ever seen like a post from DYB Coach. And then even back in the day with Burnett Painting, you don't see them, not the personal page. Now, there are occasions where like somebody on the team will post something because they're just going out of their way to share something, but it's not me posting anything to the business profile because it's just not a good use of our resources. Use your personal profile. We're not a large corporation. We can leverage our personal networks. And so great job with that, Chris.
Is that just on Facebook or is that also on Instagram?
That's on Facebook.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, because Facebook is where you want the conversations, right? Instagram's kind of just likes and it's not as engaging, not conversational wise. All right, Florian.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Excuse me. Big wins for me, a couple of weeks. They are small actually, but we're doing a project in the garage, so we finished yesterday. At the same time, the owner wants to do some touch-ups inside the house, so it keeps my guys busy for another 2 days, which is great. So it's paying time and material. Have another project, which it's small too, probably 3-4 days. That's how I price it. I scheduled it for 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, I'm sorry. And then I have another project which my guys start like since June when I was on the vacation. They kick us out because the owner didn't want the painters to be there. Say, oh, you guys got to be in the end. I don't want any dust, anything, any paint. So we starting today, go back today for 2 guys to another group working another job. Started big job. They called me on Thursday, said, hey, we have the master section. Please, you have to come and prime. Because the tile guy also starts. I send my guys on a Friday for 2 in the day, 2 guys. They prime all the section, finish the ceilings, which is great. They spray everything. The good thing is last week I went to one of BNI meeting. It's not my chapter, but another chapter. One of the BNI in my group, they say to me, hey, can you please go and sub for me? I say, absolutely, yes, no problem. That was fun knowing more people. And actually, some of those guys are coming to my group to sub for the other people. So it's, hey, Florian is here, welcome. But they had another painter, which I had a good conversation with him. And it seems like he's a very nice guy. And probably will try to share the business, which is great. Had another, which I closed on the spot last week, which is an old client. He moved from one place to another place. And as let's say, like living room, master bedroom, but not completely. So that was like 3,200, which is great actually. And he didn't ask even, hey, where's your estimate? I said, here's my estimate. He signed right away, no question about it. So I didn't want to go on details and everything. And I said, no, I know you. And working on the Calendly, because sometimes our schedule is like people want to schedule is a conflict. So pretty much in the morning, in the jump section, I go there, I see my calendar, IoT. So for example, tomorrow we have together, Steve, but nobody can schedule that time, so no worries about it. But that's what I have. Small big wins. It's
That's a
great.
nice list. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
awesome. Glad to hear it. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Florian.
guys. Yeah, thank you.
Morning, Craig.
Morning, Steve. Big wins. I think the biggest win is that one of my least productive painters just put in her 2 weeks notice.
Hey, there you
That's a
go.
big win.
So it's
The average production rate just went up.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to replace her, but I just need to get on the stick with implementing the system so that the crew can have work to chew through.
Yeah. Did you see Isaac's video that he shared in the community?
No, I did not.
Okay, Isaac, would this be a good time? Would you mind running through that?
So I've been trying to implement just a really diligent and repeatable hiring process. And the way I figure people that are on Indeed are either not super serious or not the right fit, or they are the right fit and serious. So I want to filter those out. And I used AI to put together a very specific ad that caters to who I'm looking for. And then that's ChatGPT. And then, so as they come in, then instead of them copy and pasting a link, I have them specifically reach out to me with the phrase online application, please. And I have them either text that to me or email it to me. And compared to before, when I was having them copy and paste the link, I got tenfold the engagement. And so I want to figure out a way to automate this, but I was just texting the link each time, just with a phrase or a thing I already had ready. So I just copy and paste it, and it just says, "Hi, thanks so much for your interest. Here's the link. Hope to talk to you soon." So had 100 people on one of my campaigns come through on Indeed. And then if I remember, I think it was 60 came through and asked for the link. 40 filled out the whole application. And then I think, if I'm just remember off the top of my head, I think I reached out to 20 or something, or maybe 50 to ask for a virtual interview. In that, I just have them record a selfie video answering 2 questions. I pose one scenario where the customer walks into a room being painted and says, "Oh no, this isn't the color I was picturing. What do you do? How do you handle that situation?" And then I have them answer, "What makes you excited about working here?" And then, so they'll send that to me. Of those 15 or so that I reached out to, I think 9 or so sent in the requested video. And then of those 9, I had 2 come in for an in-person interview, and I hired one of them. So of 100 people, I hired 1. And it seems like a lot to go through, but I think that it really helped me keep people that wouldn't have been a good fit at bay. Yeah, that's it in a gist. And I'll probably continue to make tweaks along the way, but I'm liking it so far.
I have one idea for you, Isaac. Your copy and paste the link. Did you use an iPhone?
No, I need to get there though.
Maybe Android does it. They're just I use a keyboard shortcut for a lot of things. And so I would be shocked if Android didn't have a keyboard shortcut. You could just create, so when you type in AA, it'll populate the whole
Alcoholics Anonymous of America
sentence sentence and your link, and it'll populate whatever you need. So just to save you from having to go like copy and then back over to paste, you could just, as soon as it comes up, you can just for example, ZZZ. Okay?
Yeah. So you're saying in my response to them asking for the link, I can just do the ZZZ?
Yep.
Oh.
Save you the whole copy and paste stuff.
That'd be great.
Yeah, because sometimes it's, I got to go, for me in the iPhone, I got to go to the note, look for it. So a lot of times we talk about some of our most popular common books, like Getting Things Done, How Bad Do You Want It, and Crucial Conversations. I have shortcuts for those links because I share them so often.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
just to save you a little stuff there.
Yeah, I didn't know if there was something in Zapier where I could connect it to at least the email one, where if it was a response from.
Yeah, so actually, are you using Active Campaign?
No, I'm
Okay.
using Mailer Lite. It's similar but cheaper.
Yeah. All right. I'm not sure about MailerLite, but if they have an open API, I'm sure there's something
Yeah,
you could do.
I'll look
Yeah.
into it.
Cool. But man, thank you. That's such a cool system. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing.
Yeah,
Again,
thank you.
100 to
Big
1. All right. What's the one thing we could brainstorm to help you to double your millions faster, Daryl?
Yeah. So this is really a CPA question, but I want to talk to some painters specifically. Since I started business, I've been doing mileage on all my vehicles. I just get my mileage. It's easier on me. Sometimes it's not making me more money at the end of the year, but it's just saved me from receipts. But this year I've purchased 2 trucks, one of them just yesterday, but the one I bought yesterday was a truck I used to own. It was a big 3/4 ton diesel, and it's like a $12,000 truck. And I bought it from a good friend of mine for $5,000. But anyways, I bought a truck in January and I put about 15 grand between what I purchased and what I put into it. And I'm gonna have about 10 grand in this one. So that's about 25 grand. I've been looking at my returns, and I'm getting about $20,000 to $28,000 a year off of my taxes with the mileage I do. But just with these 2 trucks, I can get 25,000 off right there. And so I just don't know. I'm a little bit concerned because I'm keeping all the gas receipts, and I don't know what the best way to do it all is, because I've never had to keep track of any of my records on any of my repairs, my insurance, my fuel. I've never had to keep any of that because I get mileage. And now I'm doing a 180 and I'm doing that. So I don't know what I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Am I clear on my question?
Yep, I gotcha. Yep.
Okay.
A few things to consider. One is the value of the vehicle that you pay for. The cheaper ones, say 5,000 less, it's most likely ideal to deduct mileage.
Absolutely.
For those, say 10,000 more, you want to depreciate the cost of the vehicle. Now, you have a couple options when it comes to depreciating. Sometimes you can depreciate the thing in the whole year, but if you do that, then that means you don't get any deductions for it moving forward. You've taken it all. And none of us here are qualified to give you an answer because none of us know your 2 things, financials and tax code together, as well as your CPA. So I would not make a decision on this until you meet with your CPA. And in fact, like I would just ask my CPA, I say, hey, I bought a vehicle, handle it. I didn't make that choice because I trusted them to do their job. And she does an awesome job. And usually if it was a certain amount, she would just depreciate it over 3 or 5 years or something like that. In the very beginning, I think it was only like one of the first trucks I had when I started over in Florida. I paid $3,500. Remember you could pay $3,500 for a pickup? And it had some miles on it. So I'm not that old, guys. But and that went over off the mileage. But when I started buying vehicles that were 10,000 plus, we would depreciate the cost of the vehicle. And I didn't. The takeaway here is we don't make that decision. That's not our role.
Yeah.
That is our CPA's job. Yeah.
I totally get that. My main thing is just wondering how to keep track separately, because with my insurance, I pay one lump sum for all my vehicles, which it is itemized, but then all my fuel receipts. So I'm wondering if I should get a separate credit card that way, because I know you have to keep receipts in the very end anyways, and just in case. But the way the CPA works, she looks at the credit card, anything that's a ConocoPhillips, it's not going to be written off because I do mileage. Now it's not going to be the case. So I'm wondering if I should get a separate fuel card.
Oh, okay. Because one of them's going to be mileage and one's going to be.
Yeah. And so I don't want to be messing my head up.
Okay. Yeah. Just get a separate card, separate account of some type.
And I'm curious what the group does. Do you guys do mileage, or do you write off your vehicle and all your expenses? I'm really curious.
I'm about to buy a vehicle and we'll write it off. What I was going to add to Steve is you're buying 2. So from what I understand, you can only do 1 a year. Is that right? You can only do 1 vehicle a year?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. No, we did more than that.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, it's not 1 a year. Because could you imagine thinking about a company that has 100 vehicles? Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to keep the people accountable if you're going to do mileage, well, they need to keep accountable of the mileage. I know, like, I have the Mile IQ, and so that one helps me with while I'm driving. But then I know I have the same situation where my husband, when he's driving, it's like you need to keep track of it as well.
My trucks are specifically for work only. So I just write down the mileage January 1, December 31st.
Yeah.
Because I have 2 other vehicles that are for personal. And so I've got that figured out, but I just didn't know what you all do, mileage versus expense, because I've only done mileage in 25 years.
Yeah, I give all of my gas and repairs and all that information to the CPA, and then he just and I give him mileage, and then he figures out which one's best.
Okay. Oh, cool. That answers where I need to go with that. So
Right on. Cool. Okay. Great question, Daryl. Thank you for stretching our CPA
yeah.
minds. Isaac, how about you?
So I'm desperately needing to get off the tools again, and a ton of things aren't getting done. And so I'm wondering, what's a good strategy for getting out of the field while bringing on guys that maybe aren't as equipped as I'd like them to be, and like still training? What's coming through my mind is that I like wear a polo to distinguish in my mind, like I'm not gonna just jump back in and start painting a room, but that I could be there like, I don't know, half a day for a month or so
Yeah.
to train.
Schedule till noon. That's what I did. I just scheduled till noon. I was in paint clothes because I was working side by side, but
Yeah.
I would just work till noon. My calendar is on the job till noon or 11 a.m. or whatever. But that's what I did.
Okay.
That way you're not sporadic and your
Yeah.
employee knows exactly when you're going to be there and the rest is on him. That's what I did.
Okay.
Yes. Same. I did the same thing.
Okay. Well, then I'll do the same thing. Sounds good. I
Get
like
the
that.
same results
Heck yeah.
or better.
That's it. Right on. Okay, Sonia, you're up.
I'm working on client acquisition and smoother presentations door to door. I'm always listening to the sales guys coming through or salespeople that come
Yeah.
through. Yesterday I got one and he knocked on the door and went dun 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 dun. So I looked out the window and I was like, back to him. You know? So then I opened the door and he's like, that's 1 in a billion. But anyways, I listened to to what he was saying. And I liked the way he was, because I was looking at it like, because it was a pest control guy. And then of course I had, what do you call it? The hornet's nest up on the top. And so I'm talking about that. So I was just listening to how he was speaking. And I was like, okay, I'm just trying to think of how to have when I come to that door, I just want to be smoother, more articulate, and not being blah, 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 blah. I commended him and I said, out of all the presentations that I've heard, I go, like how you were slow, how you listen, how you found you're trying to get my emotions going. I go, but I play with spiders. I'm good here. He's like, and lizards. And so he was like, oh, I don't know, not roaches though, but he was like, no. But yeah, no, that is a concern. But I really do like how you speak and so forth. And so then it was funny because we got in a conversation off topic of as far as how he at first was doing it. But he even asked me, how's that going with yours? I was telling him who we were. And I said, I'm very new at it. And it's still, I'm getting grit, that's for sure. And at 53, I'm just like, why do I have to be doing this at this age? But I'm actually liking it. It's just, I'm always trying to, that's my biggest focus. I'm working on getting that done as far as when to do it. Cause I was watching what time he came. It was at 5:15. So I'm always looking at the time when I'm watching people in the neighborhoods. So I'm like, look, now that I'm doing it, I'm looking out for people who are doing it to see how they're doing. So I just like, maybe do a mastermind on doing that. No. But anyways, but I was just trying to figure out any ways of getting smoother at that and without it being so canned, which is not canned. It's all over the place with me. I need an interpreter for how I speak sometimes, but I speak really fast. Any ideas on that?
Door to door.
Yeah, door to door. So I've changed it a few times where I'll do the canvassing where I'm letting them know, of course, if anything of our plastic or something blows over there, let us know. So I've done that. Those go really well. But as far as I need to get an estimate, and I've gotten to do one estimate out of this whole journey of doing it. Ghosted me after that. So I was like, okay, maybe this is not my ideal neighborhood, but I get a lot of nice people. Oh, okay, thank you. But so the way I started is I introduced myself. I'm Sonia Garcia with owner of Palatable Painting, and I'm creating awareness for my company. And we're offering interior and exterior services, paint services. And that's pretty much how I start. And that's after that, okay, thank you. And I'm like, where do I go from there? So that's how it's been going. So I don't know if y'all had any experience with it or not. but it creates grit, that's for sure.
Steve
Okay,
mentioned one really good about asking if they have any friends that need painting. I think Steve mentioned that. Instead of asking if they need painting, do any of your friends, do you know anybody who needs?
like, oh yeah, my neighbor right over there. Go knock on his door. Tell him to paint his house.
Get away! Shoot!
I've
Shoot!
seen that.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
So I think Toastmasters helped me a lot. I recommend everybody go to Toastmasters. They have a competent communicator track, and it's 10 speeches, changed my life. And then they have a leadership track as well. And that was very helpful. And the membership for Toastmasters is like nominal. Plus, it reminds me of Rotary in the sense that like the people who go are just awesome people. And so you get to meet just some wonderful people. And if you get a chance, go to a national convention, like a weekend convention. It's a competition, speech competition. It is so much fun. And you get to meet even next level people. And it was there that I met a gentleman named Josh. And we got to talking about something. We both mentioned Brian Tracy. There's Brian's book, Their Goals. And he goes, "You're weird." And he was kidding because not a lot of people are aware of Brian Tracy, but those who do, you just know that they're sharp and they're ambitious. And so we had that connection. And then he recommended Bob Berg's book, Endless Referrals. And the rest is history.
Yeah.
But I also got to spend time with Craig Valentine, championship speaking, and I learned a lot of tips and cues that I was able to use in my remarkable presentations. And so there's just a lot of little things that you're able to do that just help it to just crush. And so the other part is full-blown introvert. It's you learn enough skills and tips and tricks to be able to stand up and to speak confidently and hold a crowd and get their attention and move them emotionally, as well as go door to door. Awesome.
I know that it works. Like, it's a grind. I understand like those types of results. And the thing about door to door is you get a lot of practice in. I used to knock on a door and say, "Hi, my name is Chris with the Proud Paintbrush. Would you be interested in a painting estimate today?" And they would say no. And it was as simple as that. And after reading some books, like the book Influence, they talk about like how they would make charity calls. And if they asked the person before they even asked for money, like fundraising calls, if they said, "Hi, Sonia, how are you today?" "I'm good." Already, like if they did that, they would see people have better results simply by asking how the person was doing, because, oh, if you're doing good, then you might be able to contribute to this charity event that we're doing. And the two things that I do is I always make sure I ask the person how they're doing, because they don't know you and you're trying to build a little bit of rapport at the beginning. And then the second thing I do is I don't ask a yes or no question. So like I'll do something like, "Hi, my name is Chris with the Proud Paintbrush. How are you today?" "That's really good to hear. I just noticed that you had some paint flaking on the exterior of your house, and I was wondering, when was the last time you had it painted?" And so now you're like starting a conversation with the person. "Oh, it's been 7 years. Okay, really, for an exterior surface like this, it's really recommended that you paint your exterior every 5 to 7 years in order to make sure that it's properly protected, especially from the storms here in San Antonio. We get some good ones and it gets real hot. So that's definitely something to do. If you have time, I'd be happy to give you a free painting estimate, or would there be a good time for me to come back?" And it's a grind, but that's like the best I've come up with so far. And it gets me a lot further than it used to. So
Appreciate that. No, that's good.
And also, smiles crush. Just keep smiling. It's so hard to say no to a big, happy, warm smile.
This just came to mind. I don't know if it would work or not, but I wondered if you could canvas going around neighborhoods, noticing specific houses that need painted, and then going back onto Google Earth and basically doing up an estimate for the house virtually. Type it out, put it in a folder, and like basically say, do that whole spiel, but then say, "Here's that estimate. If take a look at it, and if this is something you'd like to do, reach out to us." So then they don't have to say, "Yeah, come over, do the estimate." It's just already done for them. I don't know if that could work or not, but
I only knocked on exteriors that needed paint. Like, I didn't knock on it. I just skipped the houses that looked nice. Maybe the interiors need to be painted. I just skipped them.
save me some, I could still get my steps in, but close to it, but
Mhm.
yeah, definitely.
And
A little more
anytime
targeted.
yeah, sorry, Chris.
I was just saying a little bit more targeted in your approach, better results, a little more encouraging because you know that you have something you can sell them.
And anytime you can use social proof, it's powerful. So what that means is, hey, I was just talking to your neighbors, the Robinsons, a couple block houses down. And so I wanted to come and introduce myself, right? So if you talk to a neighbor and you get their name, I was just talking to the Robinsons, a couple houses down. And so that lends you some credibility, right? That, oh, Robinsons are talking to you. Okay. Now, ideally, like the best is, hey, we just painted the Robinsons, 740 Smith Street here, just around the corner, and walking around, and maybe it's courtesy canvassing, but anytime you can use some social proof from some neighbors that you talk to, or best yet, painted for, is huge.
Okay.
And then we have some openings this week, scarcity, right? We have some openings this week that we're trying to fill and offering killer deals. Those who want to take advantage of it.
Okay. Nice. This is great. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. Chris, you're up.
My question is just about community spotlights, and I'm imagining that you would want, just in terms of who and why, I guess your target. What's the why behind it in terms of, is the main goal here finding spots that you think you're going to be bringing value to the kind of the community and stuff like that? And if so, which ones? Like, I can think of guys that that are bringing me work that I could do a spotlight on that they would appreciate. But I'm imagining this is much more for the community. And so who and what and why?
Yeah, great questions. Thank you. So first, yeah, community spotlight the guys who are bringing you work, guys referring you, take care of them first. That's the right thing to do.
Okay.
And then people in your business network. Why? It's a two-faced benefit. One is it gives value to the person, right? And you give them value to your network and your customers, because you're saying, hey, I don't know if you're in the market for a roofer, but I just interviewed John's Roofing, and if you're interested, you can check it out here. So there's an ABA email you send to your customer list, right? And a lot of my customers, I'd send them to them. Some say thank you, and some would say, hey, I just forwarded that to my association. And then you take that video and you give it to the person you interviewed and say, here it is, go ahead and share it to your social. Let everybody know that you were just featured on my community spotlight. For example, Mark Smith as a CPA back in Venice, Florida, and I had interviewed him, and he wasn't even my CPA. He was just in my BNI, and great guy, great CPA. And I interviewed him, and it was fun, and he put it on his homepage. And he says, Steve, I get 1 to 2 clients a month because people see that video and they say they liked the video because they felt like they got to know me, and it was just 5-10 minutes. So here's a fun thing. Who do you think his favorite painter is or was? Yeah. And CPAs have a lot of great clients that you want to paint for, right? So it's a win-win all the way around. And when we come to thinking about who should we do it, I would just say, just interview any and everybody you can, and don't overthink this one. Don't overthink this one. Just take action. I interviewed, obviously, CPAs, realtors. My buddy owned a Italian cafe. I interviewed him. I had a friend who was a pianist. I interviewed him. And then I stood there feeling uncomfortable as he's playing his piano. It was just really weird for me. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Well, this guy's playing some romantic tune on a piano. Tap my finger or something. It was really uncomfortable, but I did it. It gave him value, and the customers loved it. And I had some clients who were like, oh, I needed a pianist for our event. I even did the lady who worked at the funeral parlor, and she enjoyed it so much. She said, Steve, can we do it again? I want to go do it out at the cemetery. And I said, no, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to think of all the ones I did. But for any and everybody, because it gives value. And what's cool is this is just one of the ABAs, and you start adding those together with the other ones, whether it's a Paint It Forward, the Young Entrepreneur Scholarship, the Paintball Charity Championships, right? And then the remarkable presentations where you're entertaining everybody and giving away gourmet cookies before you know it. Because of all this value given to your community, they're going to start handing you awards. They're going to start featuring you in magazines, right? They're going to start featuring you in the newspaper. So it's not one plus one here. It's compound effect. The whole point is don't overthink it. Just start interviewing, lining them up, any and everybody.
Cool.
And I'll just point into that. What you'll notice as you start doing them is how many people that you're interviewing know each other. And then it just all connects, and you're just like, oh, now I know 100 people just from doing these 4 interviews. So it's pretty sweet.
Cool.
You build your network fast in a high
Okay.
value network, and you become the go-to. You become like and then they start inviting you to MC the chili cook-off and charity events and the annual chamber banquet, because you become the go-to. Who are we going to get? Oh, get Chris. He's doing all this other stuff. He's like the guy.
Cool.
And every time you do that, you get more press and you get more exposure, and it just compounds. It's crazy. ABA is where it's at, guys. Get your networking locked in, and then ABAs. Ben, keep an eye on Ben Campbell. He's doing all of them. The last one he's launching remarkable presentations, which are this week, and he's more than doubled his business, you guys. In fact, last year he bought a second log cabin. So he's every weekend. It's like, all right, family, do we want to go to this cabin or do we want to go to this cabin? True story, okay. And so you guys can do the same. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Great question, Chris. Florian.
Okay, so go back to Daryl regarding mileage idea. I never count mileage. I always submit the receipts. But my question is to you guys, how you handle your foreman when it comes to gas issue. Let's say like my foreman, I talked to Steve in the past. It came to the point like I was not here, but you should see my credit card, just the gasoline was like $900. Whoa. And now in July, actually, is a little bit less, but still it's $700. He came yesterday and said, oh, the car doesn't work. I said, absolutely, it doesn't work anymore because you passed that the amount. And I talked to you and I said, it's $100 a week. And that's what you have to spend on the mileage and the gasoline. So anyway, I gave him like $20 just for him to go around. What you do with your foreman, whoever drives your car on the job site, do you have a limit for it? Do you handle the card, which I opened actually another account and it's specific just for him. And this limit like $400 a month, and that's it. And I said to him, every time you fill up once a week, and it's going to be $100, and that's it. Now, if you go back and forth, you have to do your family needs, and then you have to put it from your pocket. What you guys do about that situation? How you share? What kind of rules you have in your company for your foreman?
I have a question real quick though, and this is just a question, not a statement really. Help him be accountable. Isn't there maybe like a mileage tracker on a phone he can use to make sure the fuel adds up with the mileage he's using, so you know he's not doing something he shouldn't be doing?
That's what I was thinking when I heard your idea, the mileage idea. That's probably what I'll do. I have to find an app so he can count wherever he goes. Sometimes he goes 2 times a day, go from one job to the other job, which I understand. So probably that's a good idea. Count the mileage and say, okay, he might pass like $400. I'm not saying no. If like 2-3 stops during the day, I'll go from one job to the other one. I have to see what kind of app is there and maybe to install the app on his phone and say, hey, download this and let me know at the end of the month how many miles are. And then you pass that and you show to me and they went from one job to the other one. And then probably I'll reimburse you more. So that's a good idea too. But I don't know. You guys have it specific for it, or?
I didn't pay for gas.
I knew Steve was going to chime in there.
Yeah.
Is this the first time it's happened, or it's each time he maxes out the card?
No, actually, let's say like January, February, March, April, he was fine, like $400 fine. But now it's overloading. And like he put on 22nd like $100, and on 26th he put another $100. Wait a minute. In 3-4 days you make 100 miles, 150 at least miles is a lot. Yeah. So, and then he came yesterday and said, I don't have any money for gas and the car doesn't work. So I'm changing the card. I block his card completely. And I said to him, when you go in the store, I don't need to charge the card. Go to account and buy whatever materials you need. But you have to show me the receipt and everything or what specific you need. So yesterday he went to the shop and they showed we bought $40, which I see is for our work, like cantina, whatever it needs. But somehow, I don't know, it's too much to me because I have the previous guy. He was usually, I said to him, hey, $200, lets you go from one job to the other job. And it was fine. I give him a little bit, this guy, a little bit more because he is out Naples, so I understand. And I let him drive the car at home. No, it's a situation. He's a good painter. I'm not saying no. He's accountable, let's say, responsible, and leaving on the job site. He finished the job. It's no question about. If I'm not there, he takes care of everybody. But this is kind of God situation, which for me, for example, I pay like $350 a month for the gasoline. And I go a lot of places. It's not like I don't go.
So, Florian, maybe sit down and do an exercise for 1 month that he did the 900 and just do the math on where he lives and his job, right? How many miles? And then just add up the miles for the month and figure out what the gas mileage should have been versus what it was, and ask him to help you to understand.
From the other side, is quality guy, no question about. I don't have to be on the job site. So somehow I have to take this as a consideration. Who is taking care of the business? When it comes to gas, and I give you some job sites. It's not like I fit sometimes small jobs. And I say to them, just be careful because it's the company name. I don't want anything. But the thing is, he never give me any problem. Yes, sir. He smiley face and never give me problem. He doesn't have any attitude. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Everything else is great, but now he is giving you a problem.
Yeah.
Do the math just for 1 month. This exercise shouldn't, he should probably get it in one jab session. Just all the jobs he was on for 1 month. What is that for? 8 jobs. And where does he live and the distance to that each job, right? Just add up those miles, and then whatever gas is, 350 or whatever, just figure out what the gas mileage should have been. Get that total. And who knows, maybe it'll be 900. Maybe we'll say, okay, I was wrong. That could happen. I doubt it, but it's a possibility. But first we need to check the data because we're talking about feelings. Let's check the data. And then when we find the data that our assumptions were correct, then we compare it, show him the data, and ask him to explain.
Oh, sounds good. Sounds a good plan.
Oh, you're welcome. Greg.
I've got a couple of things, and we've already talked about some of them. The most immediate situation is I'm leaving for vacation next week, and I don't have work lined up for the crew. So I need to get something in there pretty quick. And the other thing is my painter leaving. The one that's leaving has a vehicle, so she was taking around equipment, which was very nice. The next hire, I'm hoping that they would have a vehicle as well, just to fill that void, because I was at 4 people, so I'm going to lose one with a vehicle. So now I've got one crew that has a vehicle, but the other person will be by himself, no vehicle. So I'll either have to get him an electric bike with a trailer on the back or figure out something else. Which I did see. I did see that at the paint store, and I was like, that is a clever solution, but not so good in the snow. I think, honestly, the more pressing issue is just grab some work for the guys when I'm away next week.
Yep.
And obviously, it's got to be, like, it can't be a wallpaper install. It should hopefully be something that can span the entire week so that it's, like, less management on my end.
Yep. Go through all your open estimates, find those that are qualified, and call them up directly and offer them a deal. So here's the situation. I have a gap, and I'm offering a deal. The first person to take it, there's scarcity, right, gets this deal, whatever the deal is. And put them in order by whoever you'd like to give the deal to or do the job to first. And just work your way down the list until somebody takes a deal.
When you say deal, what do you mean by deal?
Ideally, this is a tough situation, right? Ideally, you want to try to add more value. Always. That's always it. What a deal is, add more value. I'll take your credit card with no fee. I'll include a designer, right? Just any type of our closes that we use. Worst case scenario, take some stupid money off the bid, which I hate doing, right? I hate that. I hate offering discounts. This is a unique, you don't want to go on vacation and not have company working. That vacation is going to cost you double, right?
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, but use everything else you can first.
Yeah, that's what I do too. I do it when I have gaps in my schedule, but I very rarely have ever offered money off. But in the wintertime, I'll go back on some open interior estimates that I bid 6 months ago. And for Christmas week and New Year's week, I'd offer like a 10 or 20% off or something. I would say a dollar figure like 400 off, but I've only done that a time or two. Mostly adding the value is enough. We are only painting your walls and this. I'll do the ceilings in your bedrooms for free. Yeah.
And
So
then make sure when you say that too, think about the dollar value. So I'll do your ceilings, which would generally be $400. State that so they feel the full value of it, right? And to Daryl's point, spot on. Then if you're going to give a 10% discount, I can't let him say this on record because I hate this, but these are desperate situations, right? Don't say like 10% off. If the value, if the dollar value sounds more, say the full dollar value, right? $500 off or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to save $250, and help me fill this gap, keep my painters going, then the spot is yours. You get first dibs at it before I call the next one. First come, first serve. Scarcity's there. It's real. Use it. It's powerful.
Cool. Yeah, the other idea is, do you have any painter friends is very close to you, so you can ask him for, hey, my guys are free this week. Do you mind using that? That's idea.
A great idea.
Yeah, I've done that before as well.
The second thing is
let my painters out to another.
Yeah, when I came from my vacation, my guys were working for a month, 4 guys, so it's no question about it. But when I came, it was slow, so I got my guys painting my house inside, so just keep them busy. That's another idea too. Just if those painters that are very valuable to you and you don't let them go, just do something, paint exterior or something, keep them busy. Hurricane here happened 2 years ago, no work for a week, and I pay a whole crew pretty much no matter what, because I don't want them to leave after that. And then when they came back, they were like working until 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, because it's so much work. So just keep that in consideration. I don't know, maybe you might need painting interiors in your home. I don't know.
I've got a 1-bedroom condo, so it wouldn't take them too long.
I'm just saying.
I don't have the palatial Florian estate.
Just work around about your friends, whatever you have, family, for example, cousins, whatever you have there around. Hey, I have my crew. They can work time on the team. Just don't make any profit. Just let them work.
Yeah, cost. That's an idea too. Open up that cost for them. Just keep them going. Cover your overhead.
Yeah, which is a shame to be doing during this time of year, but it's just, I thought
still
it would have
better than not. Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know. After an hour, 2 hours of the phone will ring, maybe 2-3 jobs comes up right away. That's how it is, right? Be positive. Let's do it.
Mind of abundance.
Yes. Awesome. Very good. Thank you.
When you go on vacation, usually you get something. I don't know how that happens.
All right. Better let everybody go so y'all can start your day today. Let's roll out with takeaways. Daryl, lead the way, please.
Yeah, it's all been really good. Always enjoy these masterminds. I'm going to go off with my own takeaway, which usually with someone else's issues or things, but I'm going to look into the mileage versus expense on these 2 vehicles, but I think I'm going to do the expense. But I wanted to get your guys' feedback, so that helped a lot.
Awesome. Thank you, Daryl. Isaac, you muted?
After this job's all done, I'm going to transition to work until noon with a polo so I can do some training while retaining my off the ladder status. And the just quick little ZZZ thing for the copy and paste. And then you can book me. I thought, okay, I need to get that plugged in. They finally fixed their glitch. They let me know. And then just all the stuff Chris was saying with the send out cards, making a call once a day, following up with old customers. And then that Todoist thing sounds good. Yeah, bunch of good stuff. Good talk.
Awesome. Thank you, Isaac. Sonia?
Toastmasters, targeted homes, and what was that other one? Scarcity.
Yep. One of the 6 laws of influence.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
When it's true. Now, of course, you guys are all honest people. This is being recorded, so I'll only use it if it's true. It's a powerful weapon. It's like a brick. You can use a brick to build church. Or you can use it to break a window, right? It's a tool. It's a powerful tool. So let's use bricks to build churches. All right, Chris.
I'm going to check out the book, How Bad Do You Want It? I hadn't heard of that one before. In terms of community spotlights, we're thinking about guys that are bringing you work, but we're also trying to give value to both the network and the customers. This is also an opportunity for ABA email marketing. Don't overthink it.
Yes, sir. Awesome. And that's actually a video. I'll post the video in your mastermind chat after we're done here. Yes, I've got a short code for it. Okay, and it's awesome. I love it. I've been watching it for years. Florian, takeaways, please.
Yeah, that form an idea, trying to see how many miles he used every day from his house, from one job to the other one. That's a good idea. Maybe have an app for it to count the mileage. What else? Isaac idea, working with the crew sometimes on 12 o'clock is nice, especially when you have a new guy, just to show to them how things can be done. What else? Community spotlight, like Chris was saying, that's a nice idea to interview anyone. Welcome, BNI, your friends, whatever it is, just put it there in the Facebook. And that's what I have for today.
Yeah, right on. That's a great list. Thank you, Florian. Come with a nice list of big wins and roll out a nice list of takeaways. So
yeah,
fantastic. Thank you, Craig. No pressure. Close us out through takeaways, buddy.
I think the one that sticks out to me is just using scarcity when I call to people. And also, I'm going to revisit community spotlights when I'm back from vacation. Those seem quite powerful.
Indeed. Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to encourage you guys to continue to dream big, hustle smarter. You've got this.
Have a good day, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, everybody.
Good seeing y'all.
Guys.
Wonderful rest of your week.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye.
Yeah.